Hello everyone, Pallytime here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Looks like I'm gonna have to play some Kael'thas. He received a lot of changes. People were speculating that these were some pretty significant nerfs. I, on the other hand, was advocating that Kael'thas was gonna be just fine. And it turns out that Kael'thas is just fine. I'm gonna play him one time. You better enjoy it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, at level 1, we are going to be going for the... I'm going to go for the Mana Addict talent. This is going to increase the amount of mana that we have in the late game, where it becomes very important that you're actively spending your mana. So it's one of those things that's going to ramp up over time. As we grab these regen globes, we are going to be getting more mana. So, Kael'thas, one of my lowest win rate characters that I've actually tried to improve on several times in the past. I have not had a lot of luck with that aspiration of mine. His Q ability is Flame Strike. This is going to deal AoE damage to an area after a short delay. His W ability is Living Bomb. That is going to apply a damage over time effect to a target, I guess is the best way of saying that. And then after a short duration, that damage over time effect will explode, dealing damage to the character and then a little bit of an area around the character you apply the dot to. We do pick up First Blood on Zagara, but we do lose our monk for it. Right now, no one is getting XP middle, which means we are basically losing out. We are going to fall behind the enemy team if that issue is not rectified soon, and it looks like our monk is going to be heading over there right now. So, our E ability is that tornado that you saw me throw out there for just a moment. That is going to pick up the first person that it hits, throw them into the air for a short time. The range of that was just increased, so it's a little bit more reliable as far as crowd control goes. But we can augment that and all of our other abilities with our trait, and I can tell you more about that later. As of right now, we are being bullied out of this lane by the enemy team Zagara. Muradin is going to be using his trait to get a lot of health back, but it looks like that Sylvanas for the enemy team will be picking up the first Dragon Knight of the game if something is not done soon. Zagara looking like maybe she's heading up there. They actually got a kill on Kerrigan up in the top lane, so we may be able to take over that. Unfortunately, we did lose our new Barak in the process. So, yeah, basically at a little bit of a standstill right now as far as pushing this enemy team back. The friendly team, Muradin, Azmodan, Karazim, Kael'thas, and Anubarak. I definitely like this team. In my experience, I do significantly better on Kael'thas when I have a team that is able to zone for me and protect me. We are going to have some problems in the early game versus this Zagara, to the point where I probably want to ask for a lane swap here. We are going to be picking up Netherwind at level 4. And throwing that out on the enemy monk right now, locking him down in place, trying to get the Flame Strike ready for his escape. But of course, he did not go the way we wanted. I'm completely out of mana right now, just trying to deal as much auto-attack damage as I can. Now, however, I can finally use that Living Bomb, but it is as Muradin is ready to back up. So the biggest struggle that I have on this character is not being in the front of things. You really do have to play very cautiously when you're playing Kael'thas. And that's something I understand conceptually, but at the same time, I play a lot of very aggressive characters, so I tend to walk into people without really noticing. Our Muradin taking a ton of damage from the Zagara yet again. Zagara doesn't actually have enough mana to do very much, but the sustain of that monk is going to be enough. Muradin is going to be taken down there because he went back in, and the enemy team is going to secure the bottom shrine as well as the top shrine. So a lot of the changes in this patch were seen by the general population to be nerfs. Kael'thas lost one of his most powerful talents at level 16, which was called Ignite. Ignite used to essentially apply your W ability on anyone that you hit with your Q ability. Looks like we are just giving them that. All right. It was a very safe way for a squishy character to deal damage to targets. We have lost that. And now the general population seems to be switching over to Chain Bomb, which was my favorite talent in the first place anyway. We're going to crowd control Kerrigan here, put the Q down right behind her, and take her out of the fight instantly. We need our Azmodan just to back up a little bit, and I'm going to be doing the same thing. We are going to be punted to safety, trying to position for that there. And it looks like we're going to have a pretty successful defense against the Dragonite. Flame Strike going out. You can see my positioning here already very aggressive. As I mentioned, whoa, those frame drops though. As I mentioned, I have a really hard time positioning like passively on this character. I know how much damage I can do, and I want to do that damage at all times. We are, however, letting Zagara completely split push down in the bottom lane. I am going to be picking up Fission Bomb at level 7. This is another talent that was, again, nerfed significantly. Instead of giving you, I believe, a 70% bonus to your living bomb damage, it now gives you a 30% bonus. And you may see that and ask, well, how is that not a nerf to Kael'thas in general? Well, quite simply because his scaling across the board was increased considerably. You could see Zagara on me with the Hydralisk basically forces me out. She doesn't have to do anything else on top of that. That is enough, which is basically why I can't lane against her. Someone else needs to go versus this zigzag. I quite simply cannot do it. Alright, our monk AFK in the middle lane. Good, 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 good. What are you doing? How are you? I hope you're talking to your mother about important things, because that's the only excuse not to play a video game, right? Isn't that the only excuse ever? The shrines are going to be active yet again. So essentially, Fission Bomb does have its scaling reduced, but his abilities in general have their scaling increased throughout the course of the game. Because we have not been soaking XP adequately in all of these lanes, we are 2 levels behind the enemy team right now. We can go in here, we just need to wait for the Kerrigan combo to come out. There it is, and now we can go in with all of our damage. Crowd controlling Kerrigan, trying to deal as much as we physically can. Kerrigan does have a ton of shields these days, and she did have the healing of the enemy team's monk by her side as well. I got pulled into the combo a little bit there. Looks like Azmodan maybe stepping in the way so I don't die. The Ultralisk actually despawning there. And we have completely given the Dragonite to the enemy team yet again. No one in middle contesting whatsoever. And it looks like they are losing down in the bottom lane. So we're definitely going to be focusing on the late game here, trying to revive our chances of winning this game. We're absolutely just giving it to them in the early game. This is probably a time where I should be talking in chat saying, don't worry, friends, we can do it. But I'm playing Kael'thas, so my outlook on the world is not good. If you want to see a depressed pally time, just give me this character, and you will see a depressed pally time. If there's a way to lose, I'm going to find it. Our Azmodan recalling, even though he's relatively high on health with the healer next to him. While the Dragonite is pushing down our defenses, a little bit questionable there. But it looks like the Dragonite actually not going to be able to kill the fort there, and is going to be forced to retreat. Here we go, long-range tornado coming out. Is going to crowd control Sylvanas as she was trying to run away. Unfortunately, that was about all I could do for this. Health reserves are just a little bit too low for me to re-engage, and it looks like our monk friend may... No, he's fine. I was worried he was building for damage. We are still going to be going with Phoenix because the odds of us fighting over a particular location are pretty good, and of course Phoenix is the best talent at doing that. They have completely chased into the enemy team's defenses and wasted a Divine Palm. So that everything about that was questionable. Zagara is honestly probably going to pick up a kill here, as she did see all of this happening because of her creep, but it looks like she actually recalled. So, you know, whatever. I'm dead. Oh, she didn't combo. Okay, I'm not dead at all. Fantastic. I'm just going to casually walk away. All right. Woo! Saw my life flash before my eyes there for a little bit. I'm just going to... Let's positive reinforcement. We have... the late game, just need to stop giving them objectives for free. I don't know if anyone's going to believe that. I don't know if I believe that, but hey, we can give it a go. Does the enemy team have a Kael'thas? No, they don't, so that's a big advantage for our team. You're going to see this guy basically in every game. He was basically in every game before, and now he's going to continue to basically be in every game. He is so strong. Why? What are you doing? Oh my god, did he seriously bait this? He baited the Divine Palm! I take back everything I said! That was a great play! Great play! Alright, I'll give it to you. That was good. That was good. Kael'thas excels at spreading the chain bomb to enemy teams now. I mean, basically, if the enemy team ever clumps up at any time, we are going to be the best character in the game at killing them. And as you can imagine, death balls, especially when you have a Thralled Kerrigan on your team, are going to be a pretty prevalent part of your strategy. So as far as countering that, we're pretty good. But as far as actually living through what the enemy team is capable of doing to me, we may not be that great. All right, so, oh goodness me, oh goodness me. Muradin, I need you. I need you, Muradin. This is why I die, because stuff like this happens. I don't know where Thrall went. I don't know where Thrall went. Of course, he's right here. Okay, so let's throw this down. Let's throw that out. And, okay, we are going to be taken down in the bottom lane. That is Kael'thas' greatest weakness. I've been telling you nothing but good things about the character. His greatest weakness is he has no real reason, or no real way to escape conflicts like what you just saw there. If I can't walk this way safely, and I can't walk this way safely, I die. You know, some other characters, we're just going to say Zeratul, Kerrigan has a few ways to do it. They can kind of blink over those walls, they could jump over those walls, scale terrain in certain ways that allow them to get away in those situations. We do not. But here we go, Chain Bomb, one of the most powerful talents in the entire game, has been since it was released, and now people are just starting to use it. We are going to be able to spread our Living Bomb to every single target that is hit by Living Bomb. We need to go top really quick to try to help out in this, but it looks like they are going to be dying before we get there. Middle is open for the enemy team to take it. I have a bad feeling that we're too late, but no, it is still there, still there. So if the enemy team comes down, we have our Verdant Spheres, which is our trait, ready to go. We're going to be able to cast the Living Bomb on them. Verdant Spheres was used for that tornado there, and unfortunately I am just going to be pushed back here. But the Phoenix did go out, which is going to be dealing damage, but of course not stopping them at all from actually taking over the Dragon Knight, which I'm assuming they're doing right now. But here we go, Chain Bomb coming out. We're going to hit Karazim pretty hard with it. We are silenced by the Wailing Arrow of the enemy Sylvanas. We did not receive a Divine Palm, which was not on cooldown. So we were killed there. Basically, if the tanks aren't tanking, if the tanks aren't peeling, if the healers aren't healing, I'm going to die. That's really all it comes down to. I'm not good enough at Kael'thas. I'm not knocking the character at all. He's a phenomenal character, and you should absolutely learn how to play him. He's not for me, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's probably a good thing that Heroes of the Storm has characters in it that are not for me. That shows the game has variety, which was something that it was lacking in the early alpha days. So there we go. The Living Bomb is going to start to chain. We're going to try to send it out again here. The Phoenix will block off the escape a little bit, or at least make them take more damage. And here we go. Living Bomb is going to not chain, but we can go ahead and kill Kerrigan here after the Divine Palm of the enemy monk dissipates. Now, continuing to chase after the enemy team, we should be able to deal some considerable damage to them. Or we could go back and kill the Dragon Knight. Both of these are good options. Thrall, however, has emerged, and he is now chasing our Azmodan, who is running the wrong way, running away from his team. Obviously something you don't want to do, especially when the healer is trying to catch up to you. And because of that, he is going to be taken down by the enemy team's monk. But I did catch the monk in a pretty decent tornado. Are we going to be able to kill him? I don't know. I'm going to try to block off his escape. Muradin's doing the right thing and trying to protect me. We are going to secure that kill. All right. That went about as well as it could have, I think. We came back from that relatively well. Azmodan just did the wrong thing there and completely ran away from his healer, who was trying to get to him. Let's go ahead and... most people are going with the Fury of the Sunwell talent at level 16 these days. I say these days, the patch is like 2 days old. Fury of the Sunwell is going to allow your Q ability to go off twice. which is very, very good for damage output. I'm going to go for Backdraft so we can get a little bit more control over what's going on. I don't have good escapes, and Azmodan doesn't have good escapes, so this could be a way of me helping the team while not really changing my playstyle in order to do so. I don't know how good it's going to be. I don't really have a lot of experience with this talent. It's just something I wanted to try. Anubarak up in the top lane is going to be ganked by what looks like the entirety of the enemy team. They are... I have no idea what they are doing. They're moving down now, obviously. We see Zagara, at least. I can't really move in on this, because the moment I do, if anyone else is here, we are going to be punished pretty quickly by them. Oh my god, that living bomb damage, though. Oh, and I got so greedy. I do it every time. Phoenix. We got her, right? Yeah. Was it worth it? No, not at all. That's my problem. Now Sylvanas completely uncontested in the top lane as we are losing more of our players down here in the bottom lane. Looks like our monk was taken down by the enemy team. If we go ahead and look at our stats, I should have been showing you this throughout the course of the game. Essentially what they wanted to do with this last patch was to make it so Kael'thas doesn't just explode in damage at level 16, and they wanted to make his power scale a little bit more reliable throughout the course of the game, essentially giving you an early game, which is something you lacked before. I would say that it does that pretty well, but he definitely still gets a gigantic power spike with his late game talents. Which, I mean, I don't think is a bad thing. Here we go, another Dragon Knight pushing down. The top lane is where they're going today. We can go out there and clear out some of these minions. That being said, guys, I mean, these are just my ideas. I do have a pretty good understanding of the current meta of the game and how things are working Phoenix going out. Just because I can't play this character doesn't mean I don't know how this character works. So, you know, keep that in mind. I know a lot of people are going to completely disregard my opinions if we lose this game, for instance, and quite simply, I hope you are not one of those people. Trying to crowd control the monk here so he can't heal his friends, but then again, none of his friends are nearby, and none of my friends are nearby either. Looks like we may be able to kill the Dragon Knight before too much damage is done. He's going to hop on me immediately after this, but look at that tornado catching Thrall immediately as he exits. We're going to use our Flame Strike here, hopefully doing some meaningful damage. That was 700 damage, but of course, the Hydralisk now chasing me down. Our healer, nowhere to be seen. He's up here. I need some healing, friend. I need some healing, friend. Alright, so, we're about to hit level 19. We've done 38,000 damage. I wish I was showing you the damage throughout the course of the game so you could kind of see it. It still skyrockets as you hit the late game. It definitely does. Been going up against a Kael'thas in just about every game I've played since the patch. It's quite frustrating. It's going to take some time for, you know, players to get used to the fact that Kael'thas now can blow you up without you even avoiding a skill shot if you're clumped up. I mean, people are going to have to get used to the idea of spreading out when you see a Kael'thas. At this level range, we are going to go for Bolt of the Storm just for that survivability increase. Bolt of the Storm did receive some considerable changes on its cooldown. Previously, Bolt of the Storm, I believe, was sitting at about a 45-second cooldown, and now it's sitting at a 70. So when you use Bolt, it's going to be very important. You're not going to be using it multiple times in one fight. It's going to be like, do I need to use it now? Okay, let's use it now kind of thing. You better be sure. Trying to control the monk, but the Divine Palm is going to save him. I had a Divine Palm on me as well. Unfortunately, I left the fight. That's really the big problem with Divine Palm, if we're all just being realistic about it really quick. Here we go, Tornado on Thrall, hopefully going to keep him crowd controlled. Yes, the friendly team coming back to my aid, and we are going to be just fine. So I'm just going to try to tread lightly here. Not going to go into him. I do wish the monk was focusing on healing me a little bit more in this particular situation, because if I do engage, I will die. But we can spread the bombs here, and it may spread to the enemy team. Here we go. Phoenix coming out. This is the best I can do. I cannot engage any deeper than this, or I will die. And this is basically just trying to set up the retreat for our friends here. They are still pushing in pretty hard, though. The AoE healing from the enemy monk is able to sustain them for quite some time. Here we go. The tornado coming out is going to hit the enemy Kerrigan, but I do get taken down by the enemy monk. And meanwhile, Zagara is winning the game. So, that is not looking too good for us. I lose nearly every game I play on Kael'thas. I did this for you, specifically you hearing my voice right now. This video was for you, and I hope you appreciate it. Right after this game, I'm going to retire this character and never play him again. He is not my playstyle at all. At all. Looks like our inevitable doom was delayed a little bit longer as these shrines were once again active. We have not contested a single one of these. We are 13 kills to the enemy's 25 right now. Some talent changes you could do a little bit different if you wanted to. You could pick up Fel Infusion, which would allow you to heal yourselves. It's actually a pretty considerable heal at this level. Considering you only have 3,000 health and you're able to heal for 200 every time you use your trait, which is on a 6-second cooldown. It's actually a lot of healing. And if I did have that talent, I would have been able to engage in the last fight a lot more aggressively. And I would have had a much more meaningful impact there. Here we go, Living Bomb coming out, Chain Bomb coming out. Is it going to do some damage? Of course it is. Is it going to be enough to win the game? Absolutely not. So there you go, that's the new changes to Kael'thas. As you can clearly see, his damage is absolutely fine. If we had better team fights and coordination, I absolutely could have blown up the enemy team with those chain bombs. I would not recommend picking up any other talents at level 13, actually. If you want to deal damage, if you want to fulfill his role, I really do think that's the way to go now. That being said, as I've been saying throughout the course of this entire video, I am not a Kael'thas expert at all. At all. Pyroblast may have been a better choice there, but probably not when they have Divine Palm, so I'm happy with the Phoenix pick. And at level 16, if you wanted to go for Fury of the Sunwell, that would absolutely be a great talent to pick up. Like I said, it allows your Flame Strike to go off twice. So if you have characters who are able to keep someone still for a long time, for instance, a Murky grouped up with Kael'thas right now is incredibly strong. You're basically guarantee a kill on that target because you're going to be hitting for 800-something damage twice with the Fury of the Sunwell, plus your Living Bomb on top of that. But that's it for me today. That's Kael'thas. I'm never playing him again. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.